Scott here. Hey, welcome back to the Marketing for Business podcast. I've got 2 more of our double episodes to go out of our 100th podcast episode. Look, this today one is a real beauty. It's all about intentional sales and marketing and actually how to grow a business. Like right off the bat, Owen Scott from Concentrate, he delivers, the intensity you need to have around your sales and marketing to grow a business. He actually talks about how to predict your business growth depending on your sales and marketing, and then what to do if your business is kind of struggling a little bit. How do you get out of that slump, and actually how to grow a business? This is such a great chat. We also then discuss the activities that a business owner and businesses should be doing to grow their business. And look, make no mistake, I always say success leaves clues. Owen is a real practitioner when it comes to sales and marketing, but also sales and marketing that works and really knows how to drive a business forward. And he shares a number of stories inside this podcast, 10-minute chat, really going to help you grow your business. And then I've got the $50 million man, Hale, back. I love this chat. Murray shares what it takes to work with winners inside the mindset of successful people. And if you want to grow your business, the mindset that you need to have to actually grow a business and what you really need to do. We talked in this, I think this was around June, but what it really is setting yourself, if you listen to this today, to predict what you can do in 2025 to grow your business and actually how to get around the right people to grow your business. He then talks about, the biggest sales and marketing issue that a lot of business owners have and how to deal with it. Then he also talks about, I love this, how Murray shares this, and it was I kind of laughed when he was sharing it, but his 1% factor and how to look at these little things and the little things that you need to look at if you really want to grow your business. These 2 chats are so awesome. It's really about being intentional with your sales and marketing, being predictable so you can actually grow your business. So if you want to set yourself up for 2025 really well, this is the podcast to listen to. This is the one that you want to take some notes with because these guys just start giving things away that you can do. And so I really challenge them in a couple of areas too. So they give more than one business tip, which is fantastic. All right, guys, once again, all I need you to do is share this podcast. Share the podcast. Someone needs to hear this message today. Why don't you share it with them so we can help more people? And once again, tag me in on a post. I love it when people are tagging me in on posts, saying what they've learned or what they've done. It really makes my day to hear people are taking action. All right, enjoy this one and be intentional with your sales and marketing. Owen Scott, welcome back to the Marketing for Business podcast.
Yep, pleasure being here.
Mate, this is awesome. Hey, so this is episode 100. One question, what is your best business advice?
Well, first, congratulations on getting to 100
Thank you.
Thank you. It's actually pretty close to what I'm going to talk about, which is basically it's around intensity of your sales and marketing activities.
Nice.
So
I like that. Nice. I do like that. Cool. Tell me more.
Well, if I explain the marketing bit first, normally I can predict, a company's what their sort of results will be. Because if you ask them, have you done A, have you done B, have you done C? No, they haven't done anything. Yeah. So if you haven't sort of done anything, the result's pretty predictable. Yeah. But it's about intensity. So, it's like the foot on the old accelerator. Yeah. It's funny with sales. You've got to go flat out and as hard as you can and get as many deals as possible. And as soon as you take your foot off, there's no 80%. It goes to 0. It's quite hard.
It's interesting. I talked to a guy who's heavily involved in content marketing probably about a year ago. Took the foot off the gas from a marketing perspective for 6 months. And then for the next 6 to 9 months, his leads, his business just dried right up. Yeah. And then when he thought about it later on, he goes, what was I doing differently? And he goes, I was marketing. I was consistently marketing. Yeah. And a lot of people don't see it. You don't see it until it dries up. You don't think your marketing's working, but it is actually working. And sales, same.
Well, on the sales side, like what's a little inflection in our growth was when instead of the 2 founders selling, we hired a specialist BDR, a young hunter. Yep. And it's just transformed things because we used to sell in our spare time. Yeah. And now we're going flat out. Yeah. So it's that same thing.
So having someone focused in on that, because that's an interesting point. Like you're focused in on your spare time because as the owners, the founders, you've got like 3 or 4 other hats, right?
Yeah.
And sales is one of them, but it's not your full attention. So putting the torch on that one. What do you reckon to the key to that hire was? Like, is just finding the good hunter, finding the right.
Well, the main attribute for the hunter or sort of type person is his ability to learn.
Yep.
So what happens is, it's that really keen, hungry sort of attitude, but the ability to learn. So you just keep throwing them in, and then they have it in exchange, learn about the product, learn about people, and next minute they're sort of off.
So learning your product, what and how. I get the cool thing there though is, and I've seen this with people, is if you get them involved in some of those conversations early, so they start learning, start going to meetings, they start to hear your language, they start to hear some of the things that are going on, they start to hear some of the impacts that your work's doing as well. I think that's a big one too for salespeople. They've got to hear early on some of the impact that you're making with people.
Yeah.
So with the intensity of your marketing, what would be your advice to businesses when it comes to that? Because, it's August the 1st, people will be listening to this. It's still pretty tough out there in the marketplace if you listen to some people, right?
Yeah. Well, intensity sort of comes in 2 forms. One is about focusing up. So, having a really clear understanding of who your customer is and what your story is. So we're not just marketing to everybody. So it's intensity from the customer's point of view. So you're going to be hitting the right people. And then it's about frequency. It's about, 100th podcast. Yeah. It's just keeping on it. Yeah. And, it all sort of tends to come right in the end.
Yeah. 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 That knowing who your customer is real important, eh? Who you help and how you help them and why they should buy from you, and not your competitor or do nothing. Being really, really clear on that, and that frequency of reach. It's something that I reckon if you could just have the confidence to market your business for a year without any expectations of, I think we might have talked about this in our podcast when we had you on, without, like if you really, really need business tomorrow, then there's, you probably need to pick up the phone, or you probably need to go and, talk to 10 customers or talk to 10 people, but if you want to get business long term and have that steadiness, then you need to be able to go, hey, I'm going to spend this money for a year and I'm going to commit to it, because it's the committing to it that really gets you the result at the end of the day too, because you have to have that frequency with people.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like people say, we'll suggest, I don't know, LinkedIn as a channel, and they'll go, well, no, we tried that in 2022, because we did 2 posts and we didn't get any business out of it. And then, what about Facebook? Well, no, we tried that, we did a post and nothing happened. You've done 100 podcasts. Now you can sit back and say, is it working?
Totally.
That's what I mean by intensity. It's quite hard.
One of the coolest things I heard, I was in Miami last year, and a guy called Matt Platt, I was actually on stage with him talking about podcasting to, 150 agencies from around the world, and he said, you know what, start putting your phone number on your podcast. And start talking. Just start talking about it. Say, read out your phone number, and tell people to text you or call you. And I'm one of these guys, when I hear it, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to go, oh, that will never work. Or I'll just let the market try it. Let the market. Well, the amount of texts and phone calls I get, because I've told people, hey, text me, call me if you want to have some help. I'm here to have a chat. And, like now we're doing some deals because of that. And I think that's the coolest. So, hey, if you want to get in touch with me, 0218919934. But, I think that's part of it, right? Like, you actually have to be prepared to try stuff, and be prepared to, I think, there's a guy in America, he says you have to suck at some stuff too, right? You have to be prepared to suck at some stuff, because 2 posts on LinkedIn, I don't know about you, I've heard that as well. And I know I've been on LinkedIn for nearly 15 years now, and we put out content every week on LinkedIn, and we get business because of that. Facebook's the same, Instagram, they all work, but they don't work if you just do one post.
I think I suppose I've ended up with this concept of intensity because we typically work in the tech industry. So quite often, particularly young companies, they're in that mindset that because they've got the smartest techie product, they don't really need to do much on the marketing and selling, because the product will sell itself and there'll be a queue. So it's sort of, because we've grown up with that experience. That's why we're sort of reacting to this intensity thing. They're just not going hard enough. They think that it's all going to happen.
So how do you deal with that then? Like, how do you coach someone around that, or do you just leave it and go, okay? Like, you would be probably a little bit like me, and I know Greg will be like this. You've been in the agency world a while now. You can probably see, because I know I know if you're going to be successful when it comes to marketing. You know, I can have a conversation with you, and just from a few words, I know you'll quit in month 4.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't, but I think I can tell that you probably will. And can you kind of see that now?
Yeah, well, it's one of the greatest attributes that, as an agency, the people that we like working with are people that like working with us.
Yeah.
Not, we talked about it before, sort of handing us the responsibility.
Yes.
So they're the people we work with, because basically I know LinkedIn works for my business, but I've got no idea about your business because I'm not your customer.
Yeah.
And so we're going to work on a whole lot of stuff together. We're going to measure the heck out of it, and then we're going to go really hard on things that work and stop things that don't. So if we're both sort of jumping in or jumping off the cliff doing that together, then that works.
Yeah.
It's not like we're the experts for your business.
No.
So we're the people that know about marketing and measuring it. And stuff.
Yeah. So good. Great advice. Hey, where do people get hold of you?
So
say your phone number.
021 221 2254, but Owen at concentrate.co.nz.
Brilliant. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on the 100th episode. It's going to be great. So if you've listened to this, some key takeaways, like run your marketing and run it with intensity. Look at your sales with real intensity and push it to the limit, because at the end of the day, 2 people here know what's on the other side of that. And that is, growing a business and growing your sales and being able to, I guess, have some of those goals that you want to achieve because your business is growing. It's not going to come from just putting 1 or 2 posts out. You've got to have that intensity. So the thing here, what I need you to do, though, is to share the podcast, because someone needs to listen and someone needs to hear the message that Owen's just shared. So please share this 100th episode. The gift that you could give us is just share the podcast. We really appreciate you being here and listening. Until then, have fun and take action. Murray, Hale, welcome back to the Marketing for Business podcast.
Great to be back, Scott.
Mate, 3rd time you've been on this podcast, but this is the most important one because today, this is one of our episodes, it's our 100th episode, right? So I'm asking people who have been on the podcast, what's your best business advice?
Yeah, I think I've been selling advertising now for 23 years and worked in a few other businesses before that. So my best business advice is find someone that wants to go good, that wants to grow a business.
Nice.
And is keen for you to work with them. I think everyone's got products, everyone's got businesses, but you notice the businesses that go really well. Yeah. They tend to hire. They tend to have passion, and they tend to have good people. Yeah. And they hire people on personality fit as well as business knowledge.
Yeah. I like that.
And I think that's personality fit with your team and your business is really, really important. To me, it's almost as important, or maybe even more important than knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you can teach a lot of people, and you can teach them the way you want to teach them if they come in with not too many preconceived ideas.
Yeah. So there's some interesting two takeaways right there is, from your perspective, you work better when you've got someone who wants to go good, right? When they're motivated, they know where they're going, you add your fuel to that fire and you're away. And you've seen that with your clients. You've grown clients exponentially in a lot of different markets because the person at the front wants to go good. So, but that's a tip for a business owner listening to this. Get around and decide that you want to go good, right? Because too many people, I reckon, these days, they don't even that clear on how good they want to go. And also right now they're stuck in the weeds. Oh, the market's tough. The market's this, and looking to blame other people. Well, hang on, it's your business. The buck stops with you. You decide to go good and find people that want to go good with you.
Yeah, and look, there's a real strong message in there, I think, too, is you've got to know where you want to be at in a time frame. And even in a tough market, there's so many things you can do within your business to make your business healthier, better. So if you make continual improvements now, you'll get, I believe it'll pay you forward well too.
Yeah.
And, we can all, there's so many businesses find it tough in today's environment at the moment where the economy is, right? But, I've got other people that are having a real go and they're staying positive about it and they're actually doing better than they've ever done.
Yeah.
And I look at those people and I learn things from them and I learn why. And the biggest thing that keeps coming up, they are looking at their business, they're working hard on their business now, which in turn is making things better for them every day. And when the uptake comes, this year's meant to be a bit harder, but, next year's forecasting to be a lot better. And I just think if you get match fit now, right, if you get match fit now, I just think it's just so good for you as a business. Yeah. Look, my favourite clients are business owners.
Yeah.
I love them.
Totally.
Because it's their own money they spent and they like their money and they like to keep it.
Yeah.
And they want to grow it.
Yeah, yeah.
And with that comes their passion and their leadership. And it's so bloody exciting working with them. I've changed something this year for a simple piece of business advice is I'm trying to do things. I'm not a great book reader, but I looked at the cover of the book.
Yeah.
And it said, do things 1% better.
Nice.
Right? And so whenever I do anything at the moment, I just try and do it 1% better.
Yeah.
Because it's something I can understand and I can use all the time.
Would that be like make one more phone call, do one more follow-up or like things like that? What's some examples of that?
It can be a range of anything. Like, I was at the gym this morning between 6 and 7 and I didn't want to be there.
No,
right?
no one
It was raining. It was at 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So I have to get up at 4:45, which, I think I'm batshit crazy half the time when I'm doing it. But anyway, I didn't want to be there and I thought, I can't be bothered. I don't want to keep doing this. But I got there and all I thought about was every exercise I was doing it 1% better. And then I forgot all about the fact I didn't want to be there and I just got better at it, right?
The interesting thing is high performers have the same struggles, right? Like you get a better high leaving the gym than you do, but you do that for what you get out of coming out of the gym versus going to the gym. High performers do the same. You think Taylor Swift wants to turn up and sing that same song?
I don't know how they do it.
I guarantee she doesn't. But a high performer knows why they're doing it, knows the outcome, and will persist anyway. And I think that's one of the keys to this kind of market. It's so easy when the market's good. And no one looks internal until, no one's looking internally when the market's good. And then all of a sudden people start looking external when the marketing's bad. Well, the market's bad, right?
Yeah, and that's quite good. I think what happens is when you find things a bit harder or you feel like you're continually dealing with challenges and problems is we get too inward looking, right? And, I'm only a very small percentage of the advertising market, right? The overall advertising market, right? So wouldn't it be better for me to look out there how I get more of it and take more share of someone else's? Yeah. And there'd be lots of categories like this. Yeah. We're all only small parts of a big puzzle.
Big puzzle,
right?
Totally.
Right, and a big opportunity. So if we start looking outwards more than inwards to the market and creating opportunities and keep working on attitudes and keep working on improving 1%, I believe it will pay big dividends. Yeah. And I'll give you an example of that. I had my personal best after 23 years in June.
Yep. Wow, nice.
April. No, sorry, May. Yep. Sorry, May. And guess what happened in June?
You bet it.
Yeah. So...
And you're selling advertising when people are saying, no one's buying.
No, well, everyone that I deal with is a business owner that is passionate. They're having a go. Totally. Right?
Okay, good.
And they said, now's our time to fight. Yeah. Now's our time to get stuck in. Now's our time to be top of mind that we're a good business. Yeah. And we're a good choice to come to, right? And That's very interesting.
It's kind of counterintuitive to what everyone else is saying.
Yeah, well, it is, but they're all doing it because otherwise I wouldn't have had the best months I had,
totally.
right? And,
totally. It's good.
And, but they haven't got the turnover they had. So don't be wrong, they're all down a little bit, right? So same as everyone else, they're all down a bit, but they're not prepared to not fight.
No.
And I think the worst thing you could possibly do is turn off your advertising at the moment. I just we've got to fight harder, right? And another piece of advice: if you're buying some advertising off someone, you need to feel like they're a partner, right? Yeah. They're interested in your business. Yeah. There's plenty of people selling advertising.
Yeah, totally.
But they're there for their sale only. Yeah. And I think there's too many people like that. Yeah. Right? You want people that are there when it gets rough for you, help you, support you, and that's a true partner in business. So if you can find those sorts of people, I do some business with you, and actually my clients do, and I know they're in a safe place. Yeah, and I trust this business to do the right thing by them. So I'm doing the same already in my circle of clients. And I've probably got 25, 30 annual clients who spend with me every year. And they've all been there 10 years plus. Yeah. Right? I've got a couple come on just recently which are new, but they've been there 10 years plus. So I've got half of them have been there 20 years plus. Yeah, nice. Right, and
so they've been through these cycles. They know the outcome, and this is one of the things I love talking to you, Murray, about, and I love talking to some of the clients that we had mutual. They've been through this. They know what's on the other side, and I just wish, and I really hope that people that are listening to this see that this is the bigger picture by listening to this series too. This business advice, you're hearing some common themes here. There is another side to this. And when it pops out, you don't market for the recession. You don't advertise for the recession. You advertise, you market for the rebound. And it's anyone under 5 years in business, you don't see this right now, but I can trust us. It does rebound.
Yeah, I just had this conversation with a client yesterday. GFC, COVID, earthquakes, right? And we just looked at each other and smiled and said, "This is nothing compared to those." No, right? There's nothing. This is only a blip, right? Yeah. I'll tell you a quick example about advertising because we've got to get to the end of this short segment. Is in COVID, I helped clients and MediaWorks actually supported them with additional advertising to just keep their brand out there. Nice. And when COVID finished, sure, a lot of businesses took off, but we charted the growth of those clients, and even the client said the growth was phenomenal, right? Yeah, good. So what that did was we stayed top of mind. Yeah. And we stayed relevant to the audience. There's a well-trodden track. They call it a well-trodden track. Yeah. If you get people, they know your business, they can find you in the online space, they see your business, you become trusted, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. And to be trusted is everything because we always want to buy products off people we trust, don't we?
Know, like, and trust.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to know you first.
That's right. So, I guess my best advice is going to come down to this: start looking outward, start looking at how to get more market share, advertise more, and get to the front of the queue. Yeah, because there's lots of businesses doing really, really well out there at the moment. Yeah, and it's quite aspirational to talk to them, and it's an exciting time as well as a tough time.
Oh yeah, and look, it's a market that rewards people that are bold. At the end of the day, how do you get to the front of the queue? Well, you stay in the queue for a start. Consistency and message frequency reached become relevant. You can't become relevant if you're not having a consistent message and you're not frequent with that message. So you miss the opportunity on the upside. So Murray, this has been a great refresher, great reminder, but also 23 years of being top at the game and being willing to share this information. I really appreciate you being here, Murray. So here's the thing, guys, girls, listening to the podcast, another good short episode. I need you to share this one, though. Someone out there needs to hear what Murray's just said. This might light a fuse for another business owner. So please share this podcast. It's our 100th episode. We want to make it our biggest. So the more you can share it, the better. Once again, thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you really, really soon.